Test, test, test. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, just testing my mic. All right. Had some time today, so I think I'm gonna I want to roast something, or I want to repair one of these roasters because I have a lot out. So I think I'm gonna repair one because I need to clear out my garage and probably sell a bunch of these roasters before Christmas. Because I need to clear out this garage because happy wife, happy life. So I guess this will just be kind of going over a general repair of a Skywalker, and if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, I just got them littered all over the place. I gotta try to figure out which ones to get rid of. I got my wall of them over here. Let me get my camera. There's like a wall of them right there. Ta-da! Those are all the ones that are kind of just broken. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna go grab a few. I'm gonna repair some, and if you have any questions, let me know. But it's just gonna be like that. Oh my gosh, I have so many. All right, let's grab this random one on the floor. Looks like a keeper. All right. All right. So here it is. Just your standard V1. Just by going over it. This is the newer one because it has this right here. All the newer ones have these little cutouts that the V2s have. But if you look closely, let's zoom into it, it's blocked. And they block it because I have no idea why they block it. I don't think they could fit a fan in there. And they literally just blocked it. It actually would do really well for the heatsink to have that airflow because like, this hole goes right to the heatsink, right? But they block it for some odd reason. So so that's like another thing you probably would do to help your roaster prevent thermal runaway is just literally just cutting this out. But to be safe, you probably should take out the whole unit. It's crazy. It's crazy that they do that. I'm not sure why they even like consider closing that off and not just leaving it open to go straight to the heatsink, but that's more of a manufacturer decision, which is kind of surprising. Anyways, let's take out the back. Actually, let me see what's wrong with it first, because this might actually work. Who knows? Yeah, I wanted to roast today because today we found out somebody roasted over 200 kilograms on their V1. Which is insane. Roasting 200 kilograms in a year. 200 kilograms, a little bit over a year. So I don't recommend doing that, but kudos if you do. That's a lot of, and it was all on the same lamp, which I find really interesting. But he also has never roasted it over a 100%. So I think that speaks to the testament of why you shouldn't roast at 100% on the lamp. So it's a good idea, just a good idea not to do that. So let's zoom out on this. Let's start it up. And then I'll preheat. I'll make sure the fan works. Spins. Heater turns on. Heater's kind of low though. That's very low. Oh, it looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna turn it off. So this is the one that's actually running pretty well. So I'm kind of shocked that it's I don't know why it's on the floor. Something must have happened to it. That's no fun. But yeah, that's one of the newer ones. I'm gonna put this back because I think this one might be working just fine. I don't know what else. Maybe I was planning on doing something with it. I know I got a broken one somewhere. Maybe it's this one. Here's the other. I think this is the V1. I gotta move stuff around. Coming out of nowhere. I gotta get rid of these things. V1 today. So V1, I'll be doing a V1 today. I don't have many V2s. I really don't. Yeah, we don't have a lot of those in the US. And if you do get them, they're usually from Artisan, the little supplier, not the actual software company or group. So let's see. Okay, let's turn this on. Looks good. Lamp turns on. Oh. Well, this one looks kind of weird. So we're gonna. It looks like the lamp's out a little bit on this one, so we're gonna open it up and then check it out. But then I just wanted a good one we can open up and you guys kind of see what it looks like on the inside and what the basic overall repair of this is. There's not much to it with this roaster. There's not a whole lot of things you need to do. So anytime you want to get access to the front panel, you only have these 4 screws for the face plate. This plate is pretty much what distincts your roaster from a iTop roaster and a regular Akimata roaster. Or a Caterjoy. Caterjoy has another front plate that are different. So basically, you got 2. So you have, this is usually iTop's front case, and then this is usually like Akimata or anywhere other V1s you get them. And this is like mostly, I think mostly V2s use it for the iTop. I don't know if they sell them with just this ugly front panel. I prefer this one. I like this one because the whole like design, when they first did marketing on this, they had like literal pictures of Darth Vader. And they're kind of going for this whole like Darth Vader theme. But I don't know if the company realized like the power of Mickey Mouse until later. Because that's one thing you don't want to like copy, I guess. Okay, so you get those 4 screws out. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 of those here. And this one also holds it in. I like to put the door and let that kind of hold it in so it doesn't just fall out. So now, and it's not a Phillips. So those 4 screws uses a Phillips. This one uses like a hex, and I think it's like a M4. Extractor fan? Yeah, actually sometimes it gets loose. Some people tell me it gets loose over time. So I'll kind of show you what you could do with that. Or sometimes it just gets like out of shape. And that's surprisingly the least broken part of the Skywalkers. I don't get a lot of complaints about those breaking down. I gotta charge this stupid thing. So you take all 6 of these out. And then this should just kind of come out like so. That one's still stuck in a little bit, so I gotta. It should just pop out like this. There you go. And that's pretty much access to the front. all those came out. There's a little weird bend on here, but let me show you the inside. Do I have a flashlight? So we'll take a peek at the drum. This is kind of a newer unit too. So if you look inside the drum, those 3 screws right there, those kind of, oh, actually that one looks a little pretty loose, but those 2 screws right there, those are the ones that hold your drum in. So you just got to get rid of those ones, or unscrew those to pull the drum out, and I'll show you that. So if you want to pull the drum out, I want to say, I don't know what this is. This is a 4, so I'm guessing this is a 4M hex or something. So I'm going to put that in here. You could get these at your local hardware store, like Harbor Freight or Home Depot or whatever your equivalent is. Yeah. Oh, that's why. I'm a little worrisome about this one. You can see how the drum kind of goes downwards. It usually should stay in one place. There's usually not that much play. Like I could stick that whole thing in there to hold it up. This would probably be good, like a candidate for like the bearing mod. For a while, for some of the roasters I was using, I was running a bearing mod where I just put like a bearing in here and a bearing here to kind of support the weight of this, so it could turn. But most of the time, you just want to replace the bearing mechanism in the back. But let me show you that. Let me pull this out. I just let them fall in there now because I ain't gonna go nowhere. And there's only one way you could put it in, and one way you could take it out. It has this D-shaped pattern. Like that crescent pattern. So it only fits in one way. Comes out just like that. Now I just got to worry about a little bit of what's going on with that play. I wonder if it's in here. I don't think it's in there. Doesn't feel like it. I wonder if it's just a weird drum. So I might like just check around the back. And here's the back of the drum. Nothing special. Doesn't have any special agitation fans or sharp. Ooh, look. That's a common thing too, right here. This is why it's kind of a good idea to take your drum out maybe like once a month, because you'll have beans that kind of just linger. Let's see if I can show better here. Yeah, you'll get a bean that'll sometimes get stuck in here, especially if you roast with certain pea berries, because they don't come in like, sometimes they don't come in like the big enough sizes. And they'll even tell you on the bag whether it's a good idea to use like a Be More roaster, because they will get stuck in here. And when they get stuck in there, it's you're just gonna have burnt beans, and it's gonna just smoke up your whole roast. So yeah, and then there's nothing crazy. You just gotta like just flick it off. All right, so the drum looks fine. I don't know why it's so wobbly. Because if I think if anyone else tested their drum, they shouldn't be that wobbly. But I'll put that back in. It might have been like maybe a screw issue, or maybe there was something in the way. There you go. I just didn't screw it tight enough. But let me put that back in. So let's go back over here. Made it really tight out this time. Maybe it was loose or something. Good. Yeah, I think it's just that unit. The whole drum unit is a little wobbly still. Okay, well, let's take this out. It's still wobbly. Still wobbly for my liking. I think I have an extra unit we can use, but let me pull this out. I'm going to keep those all in the drum. Cool. All right. This looks okay. This is not okay. There's broken glass in here. So I'm going to pull this unit out here. So I'll show you. Let's take this out. Okay, I want to use the appropriate size one. Grab a screwdriver. I think I know. I think I have one somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the whole bearing unit out, and then I'll kind of show you what that looks like. The whole drum bearing and whole thing. I gotta see if there's something loose on there, or something broken, but something's not working. Something's making it wobbly, and it shouldn't be. But let me take this out first so I can get rid of all the glass. I don't know what kind of driver they want me to use on that. I know I have a small screwdriver somewhere. Ask and you shall receive. All right. Oh, actually, that looks a little bit small. We'll see if it works. So I got this little Weiro one. Oh, perfect. It works just fine. But any like screwdriver you could pick up should work. I just have these fancy German ones because I don't know why I have these actually. They're a little excessive. Ah! I might take these out. God, they're M3s. I'm gonna switch these to buttonhead hexes so I can use a ball. What's it called? The ball hex. Because man, those strip so easily. Like right now, I have the perfect screwdriver for it, and then they're so soft. Okay, let's pull this out. Bulbs looks intact. Would so awesome if a quick connect could be added to the wiring and yeah, that would be really nice. So yeah, glass is broken. And I don't know why this happens, but it does happen. They just break. QC or whatever issue, but when I sent this out, this was I think this was a brand new one too. So with this unit, obviously, if there's a glass that breaks in this unit, I have to like take it all apart, clean it all out, and then I gotta just constantly just vacuum it, blow out, vacuum, blow out, because I don't want any glass in there at all. Matter of fact, I don't even think I'm going to sell this one. This might be one of my mod ones because I don't want to have to deal with people with glass in their system. They might ingest it somehow or something. It's all bad news. I remember we had a kid in our ER that had a ingested glass, and it was not good. And we're getting like physician orders. Like, can you see them for therapy? I'm like, they swallowed glass, dude. Send them ER. Or send them ER, but send them up to med surge. Anyways, I guess it would be trauma, but yeah. Have you found some bulbs that work better and longer than the others? I haven't, but Haha Sky, he's working with a vendor and he's from Taiwan and he has some connection out there that he uses for his bulbs, and they're supposed to be better quality. So we'll see. I don't have much like sway in that because I just don't know who to order it from. I don't want to do a mass order and they end up being all shittier lamps than the one I have. Then I'm stuck with $500 worth of shitty lamps that I don't want to sell anyone because they're garbage. So I'll play it by ear with that. There's one place I did order and it had really good quality. They're just expensive, and I don't think we should be paying like, I wouldn't want to charge anyone like $70 for a lamp. But these were a little bit different lamps. They were custom, near infrared, gold foiled ones that worked too well. Like it got so hot they would scorch the beans because the gold foil, I guess, reflects it back into that same direction as the other one, and then it just intensifies the heat or something. Oops, was that the wrong one? Yeah, I did. That was the wrong one. It's supposed to be this one. I'm gonna pull out the bulb here. Okay, maybe no, it's this one. Damn it! I always get them wrong. It's usually okay. Sorry, it's here, here, and then here. We'll pull that out. We'll sneak this out real quick. This is where other roasters like the Kaleido have the great advantage of having super easy bulbs to replace. This one is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not impossible. So here's what it looks like on the inside. I don't like that tapping around, but so you got the boot, then you got you have the boot, then you have the I think that's the little like safety fuse. They have two, I believe. One against the wall and then one inline. No. Let's see. Let's look at a Kaleido bulb. More glass. Do I have a, yeah, there's a spare Kaleido bulb. Yeah, so this would be a Kaleido bulb. You'd have to get like a whole new setup. Doesn't really work out that well. Tighter coils. Even the weaves look better. So when it comes to these like bulbs, things you look into are like how tight the coils are and then how the weaves are. Like if you look into there and the weaves look really tight, and then it'll look like that's kind of like a messy weave if you ever like weave someone's hair. If you got them nice tight weaves, those tend to be of better quality. Anyways, the thing is, too, I really hate that the way that the V1 holds the bulb. It uses this like, I don't want to say retarded, but this stupid boot that melts on. That's how it stays attached. So you got to pull this out. And they don't sell these boots that I'm aware of, but you can make these out of red RTV, and I've made one. I actually have a mold of it, so if you ever have a 3D printer, you can mold one of these up with red RTV, And red RTV is usually safe to use. I mean, if you look at a roast, they have red RTV inside, some form of red RTV, probably food safe or whatever. But yeah, usually red RTV is contact or not indirect contact safe with food. So you have two areas you have to pull the fuse out. You have to pinch this a little bit right here, and that will kind of, let me see if I can do it while holding the camera. So I got the camera in between my legs. I'm gonna see if I can straddle this bad boy. There you go. So you push this part down because it acts as a little clip that gets inside the this part of the spade, and then it'll release it pretty much. That hook releases that metal part from out of that spade. Good. I can usually do this a lot faster with the camera not in my crotch. Sometimes if you're lucky, you could pinch it and then pull. That's advanced Skywalkering. Okay, fine. So you just got to pull up a little bit on this sleeve. Press down here and then push up and push down. I'll take this out. Good, and that's how you would take out that bulb. We'll put this to the side. I'm gonna put I'll show you what the newer bulbs are looking like that they sent me. All right, but to reiterate again, let's just hold that here. So we got that fuse here. Someone found out if you put some micra in between, you get less chance of it like tripping. Like a little bit of like a mic. He used like he made his own like little micra gasket. And then also there's this, I think this is a resettable fuse. Well, they're both resettable. They just by over time they'll turn back on or to reset itself. Let's open that up. Pull that sleeve up further? Probably not. Yeah, right there. And there's that little resettable, or there's that little, another fuse, I believe. Thermal fuse. They put two fuses in here, I believe. So this is one, like it's on the wall, and it usually trips out first because it gets heat a little bit. I guess it picks up heat a little bit faster than this one because it's so close to the wall. A little too fast because then it'll like trip out sometimes at like 220 degrees Celsius. But I think it's supposed to be rated for 250. But and if you ever need to test if they're working, you just get a multimeter and see if there's continuity in between the two. So when I say that, it's like if you want to assess out the fuses, everyone should have a multimeter. Just kidding. You don't need it. You don't need a fancy one though. I should say everyone should have an accessible multimeter. I just fucking bent that pin. Oh man. So turn this on. I was gonna say the batteries die on this already. So one of the best things about a multimeter is continuity mode, which is a fancy word for if these two touch, I'll go beep. You're making me look like a fool. Oh, what's wrong with this thing? So yeah, that's continuity mode. It's just saying like if there's there's a pathway. Pathway's good. You want to suss out the next fuse. Good. All I'm doing is checking if there's, if the signal can pass through. That's continuity mode. And then, this is the multimeter I have. You don't have to get anything like this. They don't even sell this anymore. Yeah. Get something cheap, but always good to have one. All right, that's all taken apart. I'm gonna leave this alone. And when I do repairs and I don't want to like take everything apart, I'll just put the door here. Oh, let me put the door back. And this door just kind of just goes on like this. But I'm just gonna close this up real quick. Good. I'll put a screw in just to hold it in. I'm just using this to hold the door from falling. I don't want to take everything out. I'm being lazy. I'm just going to use that to temporarily hold it there. Okay, let's go look at the back. All right. I'm eventually need to get to the front so I can take out the bearing. So you can easily pop that out. Uh-oh. Must have been working on this. Okay. Let me get my faster one. Ooh, my faster screwdriver. All right, we're gonna pull out the back panel. So basically there's 19 screws you have to take out in total. So usually there's studs on the side. These small two, these are the screws that are big, that have the biggest differences, and they're the one that holds the coffin in place. The electronics coffin. And you can just slide it out that way. Oh, this is the one I put felt on it. My little felt gaskets I put in. You don't need to do that. And these are another two different screws that you have to remove to pull the case out. It's this one and that one, and make sure you, you know, put these somewhere safe because they're not very common. Oops, that was the other one. This is the one I want. Then you got the two at the bottom. And then this plug right here, before you start unscrewing everything, you just give it a nice little tug and it should pop right out. So two of the bottom ones. Oh, that one's in there tight. Two at the top. Oh, I should check my YouTube chat, make sure no one else is on there. Usually there's nobody there. Okay, good. And then put two on there. Oh, I think you were asking about the extractor fan. Sometimes they get loose, so you have to like readjust them sometimes. So sometimes I'll pull them off. I'll make sure everything is good in there, check it around a little bit. If I notice it looks fine, then I'll just put it back on, because sometimes these will come off by a little bit. And they will scrape the sides if they're off or loose. You got to make sure that the it's seated right correctly inside of the holder. And don't use one of these because you'll strip this one. But yeah, so just double check that. If that's not the case, then it's more likely the fan, and you have to just purchase the whole assembly. You'd have to replace it. The brass little holder thing is press fit, and I haven't got one off successfully yet. Also, but I haven't had many of these break on me. But this thing is press fit on, so I don't have anything to really like pull it off without damaging the whole unit. So you can buy this off of them too as well. Yeah, that's another thing that if they do go down, it would be really hard to replace this. Not really. We could come up with something else, but this works. This seems to work out better. I have a CAD design in mind where it'll be pretty simple to make something pretty similar, but I'm hoping that we don't have to go that route. They last long enough. And then I got those out. Now I got to get this side out. So next year, luckily, I'll be getting a little CNC machine, so I could start making designing and making custom parts for this. So in case they do go out of business, we could at least have some custom parts that we can make. But also, CNC services, if you buy them in bulk, aren't too bad. Especially with places like Send Cut Send. So we'll pull this out. Maybe by next year, I might start selling some more custom parts. It'd be mostly just like a DIY shop. But yeah, I am getting a CNC. I technically have a CNC machine now, but I'm getting a decent CNC machine. Don't mind all this stuff. I was testing felt to kind of protect it, but you really don't need to do that. Let's open this up and test it, because I think when they returned it, they said something about the magic smoke coming out, which is when people say that, it's usually just a joke about shorting a motor or shorting a board or something electrical. You let the magic smoke out. All right, here's the electronics coffin. We call it a coffin because there's literally no airflow from the outside. Usually you want airflow from the outside going in when you're cooling a heatsink. they decided to give you a blocked off wall back panel with no holes. No really holes in here. I guess you got vents right here, but they don't really work that well. So there's really no active airflow going through. Although they did have a good design where they made the holes in here and you could just like have a fan either on the inside or the outside to push air to the heatsink, but leaving a heatsink without any kind of airflow is kind of pointless. Even just adding it there, it'd do so much better job if you had like holes here just to get fresh air in. Anyways, so I installed this one quite a while back. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, it's still spinning. Yeah, a little bit of a fan buzz going on. Yeah, pretty much this is basically the same design as a V1 in terms of the electronics compartment, except with the V2 it has a fan on here so it cools off the body. So the body of the worm drive motor, because those typically run hot, regardless. But yeah, it's the same same basic setup, except for one difference. There's an extra USB port on here, so they just kind of laser out another extra USB slot. That's basically the difference. Oh, they also have some of the units, if you're lucky, and you might have like the motor bump, which I find a good way of like poking holes in it and getting more airflow to the drum. Or even using the same kind of planetary. They had a planetary motor when they first started that they wanted to use. Planetary motors they're pretty good. They have a lot of torque to them. I think they're kind of noisy. I think they're overheating as well, and they stopped using them. If you notice some of the first versions of the V2, it had that little like bump. Let me see if I have a V2 with a bump on it. There's like a little motor bump, motor hump. Yeah. You can see that little motor. Not a great video. I'm holding it all shitty too. But here's the V2. And the V2 has that little, see a little bump? They used to put like a little planetary, it was still brushless too. I don't know what happened to that one. I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was stupid of them to not put any airflow through it, but they did learn. If you look at the 1 kilogram roaster, they actually have air holes in the in their little motor bump. Oh, since you're here, let's go over this real quick. Where is it? So I'll kind of show you everything you need for that motor swap. Boo boo. I got a motor here. Motor everywhere. But this is for the worm drive motor. If you want to get a V2 motor into your V1, there's a way you could do it where you could still use a stock controller. I actually so I've been promoting that way just so people have an easier time of transitioning. So here is the V2 motor. You can purchase this off AliExpress through through iTop, you could say that you have a V2 and you want to replace your motor. They ask for a serial number. I'll see if I could like find a way to make you one. But usually they don't ask for a serial number. You just say, I want to order this motor, and they'll usually send it to you, but they won't send you this. This is the motor mount for it. I made a bunch of these through SendCutSend, so if you want one, I can sell them to you. It's like $8 because it was a small order. The drum motor is a 24-volt motor. The power supply in here is 24-volt. They sell a lot of the 12-volt on Amazon, and they come with a 6mm shaft. If you decide to go the other route where you don't order it from them, because they have that custom, this is like an 8mm shaft with double cuts. So they don't, a lot of places don't sell them like that. They sell them with a 6mm shaft. So you have to get this little, you have to make this little coupler for about $1 of AliExpress parts, which I bought a bunch of those too. Oh, here they are. Oh, cool. All right. All right. So, 2 motors, same deal. They're basically the same, except that the shafts are different. They won't sell shafts to you like this unless you custom order 200 or 300. So basically both are the same motors, except if you were to open this one up, which I can, you have our little buddy, Mr. Plastic Motor right here. And just by the nature of it being a worm drive, they get hot enough as it is because they're friction fiends, as one of my somebody in chat said. So, oh, I don't have my metal gear anymore, or plastic gear, but it's the same kind of plastic gear setup in here. I have a video of it where you could see like the meshings are all fucked up because of heat. And this motor, if left without cooling, can be up to like 110 degrees Celsius at the body, at this body. So I don't even want to know how hot it gets in there, but yeah. So the easiest way to incorporate it, to be honest, is getting a PWM driver. So this motor has the driver built in. It has all the wires, okay? And those wires are Hall sensor. If you want to figure a way to calculate speed, doesn't really work that well, so I usually don't use that one. This is direction. White is usually direction, and then blue is usually PWM. This one is 24, is like how the how much what's it called, 20 voltage go through. So 24 volts go through here. For the setup I have it where it hooks up to the drum connector, and so that when you turn on the stock controller, it turns on this motor. But what drives the PWM controller is, do I have one here? Where'd it go? This $4 part is a small PWM controller. I like to use it just because I don't really want to set the speed or anything. I just want to have it set up to where it's I just keep it to 1 speed. I'm not going to adjust it that much. You can do it where you don't have to use this and you just plug it directly into your ESP32 and it controls it that way, but you can't hook it up to the controller. And it doesn't work as well. I guess you could hook up to the controller. Have the 24 volts sent to there. I think it leaves a buzzing noise. I can't remember, but then you can have the PWM over your GPIO pin on your ESP32 if you really, really wanted to. So, but instead I just have it, the 24 volt goes into here, then all the motor stuff goes into here, and then it powers it all up and it's good to go. So you go one side, it goes like 80 RPM or whatever version I bought, or you could lower it down to 60 RPM. But I always get like the higher rated motor because the motor that they state is like 60 RPM, but it's 60 RPM without a load. So if you put a load in there, it might drop a bit. So if you get the 80 RPM motor, you get a little bit more wiggle room. So the advantages of getting the other motor also is that it has metal gears in it. There's no plastic gears in them. And the Brinksmart JGY 2838 is what these are. And that's about it. Oh, and the shaft. So the shaft is a big thing. You got to get one of these connectors. Kind of looks like this. Little couplers was what they are. And then you have a little set screw. Goes into the 6mm shaft. Screw in the set screw. Then you put like, I usually put like little 3M nuts with a 3M, 3M screw with the 3M nut to hold it in. And then it fits right into the groove of the drum motor. So that's one way if you want to like set it up to use the 24 to use the fancier brushless motor. So why they like the brushless motors? They're more efficient. They have more torque. They just need cooling, and that's why they added the cooling fan to it. There's another place where you could get these 28mm RC heat sinks that clamp onto here. Let's see if I have one available. I might be out. Hello, where's it go? Where'd it go? I had one close by, but I bought one for like $6, and I put the fan. I had it properly set up where I had the fan blowing air in out of the cage into the body, and I was able to sufficiently cool the motor to 70 degrees Celsius. 70 to 87 degrees or 80 degrees Celsius versus 110 or 90 degrees plus. The temperature will affect the motor over time. Anyways, so this will be a good setup to show you how you kind of not get rid of it, but how do you replace the motor. So the motor's simple. It's just 4 screws. 4mm screws, or M4 screws, I should say. That's the common one you can get on like Amazon. I forget what the thread pitch is, but it's the common one. Let's zoom in a bit. Enhance. Okay, so you see this one? That's ground. Make sure you always attach it back when you take it on and off. All right, so we're gonna. Oh, well, there you go. This thing right here, that shouldn't be that loose. I shouldn't be able to do it by hand. That has to be like really tight. Sorry, let me get back up there. This little sleeve should not be loose. That's why it's wobbly. So if it's loose, like I shouldn't be able to hold this and turn it by hand at all. Which is why the drum is bowing forward. Because that just comes right off. So you can see that there was a lot of play. If there's enough play, I'll kind of move around all weird, and eventually if that falls off, the drum's gonna get all messed up. So yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. And these drums are tight or loose. These bearings. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull these out. They usually don't come off that easily. You usually have to pull this unit out. So let's do that. Let's pull the whole unit so I can show you what the bearing looks like and how you can adjust it. And if you need those bearings, I have those too. Yeah, anytime you order anything from AliExpress, it has to be in bulk or Alibaba. So I definitely ordered a lot of those bearings. But at least I know that they have super lube in them and they're indirect contact safe, and they're rated for the temperatures that we roast at. So I feel somewhat confident. Whether they're telling me the truth or not is a whole different story. I can only just trust what the vendor sends me, but usually they don't want bad business, right? Anyways, let's pull that unit out. So to get out the little drum setup, we'll find that later. We'll pull this out. Let me unzoom. I'm gonna pull this out. Okay, so those 4 screws hold in the drum. So the drum, the bearings and everything. So I'm gonna use this. That fell out in the back, so if you had the motor on, it would stay there. But this is pretty much the drum assembly. So this butts up against like that, up against that to the back panel. And this goes in like this, but it's held in by bearings. So you got to put the bearings in. So ooh, I love it when they slide in. That sounded dirty. Sorry. Okay. We'll put that in. Oh no. Okay, I shouldn't jam them in like that. Rookie mistake. They should slide in. So if you want to put the bearings back in, you just kind of have to either do it when it's cold. Sometimes if they're really tough to put in, I'll put them in the freezer. That goes in here, but this one is a little bit smoother. Oops. Too rough, too rough. Right. Good. So it goes in like that. Depending on the lube that they use, sometimes you could free spin them, but if you have like the thicker lubricant, they'll kind of have a slower. It won't be as easy as to spin. It feels like there's like more. It's harder, but it's still pretty smooth. Then this goes on the back of here. I gotta push that in a little bit more. This is threaded, so it's slightly threaded. So then you put this back onto here. And you get it tight. That's basically the whole unit. But these are different bearings with different kind of lubrication, so they don't free spin as much. They're very smooth. Let me see if the other bearings are like that. I ordered these bearings preloaded, so. Ugh. So yeah, there's a tool that I made, or you could print out, that makes it easier for you to unscrew this. It's supposed to be pretty tight. This bearing pops off. So I'll put this bearing back in. Good. Put this other bearing back in. Good. Well, that's back in there like that. Push this through right here. About the same. I'm trying to remember if there's a certain side that you're supposed to use. Maybe this side. I'm using the one that looked flatter. There we go. Okay. Nah, that's the drum assembly. So we'll put that back in. And that's how you would adjust the drums or replace the drums, or the drums bearings. All right, let's put it back. So it pretty much goes in like so. Has 4 holes, so they should line up. Where's that tool at? Do I still have it? Did I put the tool in here? Yeah, with these new V1s I have, there's this case I've been wanting to print out for my 3D printer where I'm going to put like all these little tools that you can use. just to reiterate that this is definitely a unit you want to learn how to tinker on. God, I need to replace those. Making a list in my mind of all the things I need to replace. Fucking. Lloyd Gross. Hello, fellow Lloyd. Yeah. This one has a magnet tip. All right. Let me get my big ass body over it. See my big back. All right, so those 4 screws go back in. I'll put the drum back in just to show what it looks like. What time is it? 11, 12? Okay. There's only one setting on there. Okay. Let me grab that drum. All right, we're going to put the drum back. Make sure that drum's aligned a little bit better. There we go. That's how the drum should be. See how it doesn't go all the way down? That's kind of how you want it. Nice and tight. So that's another thing. So if it does go low and the bearing setup, the bearing drum setup looks fine, then it's probably that sleeve that got loose. That doesn't happen very often because they're in there pretty tight during the factory shipment. So very interesting to see that. But you know, you get all kinds with this roaster, so make sure these are tight. Good. Okay, so it does freely spin when it has weight. Very smooth too. So it should kind of freely spin when you move it around like that. Okay, so that's how you can kind of get the jump set up with that. What time is it? 11:16. Okay, so I'm gonna work on this later. If I'm gonna see if I can make a video for is the name I'm illiterate. All right. Thanks. I'm gonna try to make them just a separate video on how you can just add the V2 drum motor on. And then I'll just post it on, like, I've been meaning to make more videos. And I think I might add it to this unit, since I don't want to sell it because it has broken glass. So I'm gonna put this out of the way. Save all the screws. I have like a plethora of these screws, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Since the other one's working, I might be able to sell that one. Okay. So I don't know if you guys were here yesterday, I had the cormorant out. I tried roasting with it. I roasted with it last night, and I got up to 250 degrees Celsius. So obviously I don't know how to roast on that machine yet. So I think next week I'm gonna have a few more roasts in there, and then we'll do a live stream, and then comparing how those beans taste. But I want to do work on another one, because there's a big question I've been always wondering is, with ROR and all those curves, kind of curious to see how big of a difference does it make if I were to follow a descending ROR curve or if I plateau it. General consensus is when it comes to ROR, the descending curve usually tastes better, or people have found that it tastes better than something that fluctuates, or I guess a little bit less control. I don't know. But let's get this started. I'm gonna plug in my little plug this in. We'll get this unit out. Oh, you know what? I was playing with a new plug. Playing with this little plug right here. Oh, there it is. So if you want to modify the cubing, so I'm going to move to the cubing now, because I want to get at least one roast in. But if you want to move into, I don't even know I'll get it in, but if you want to move to like a smaller roaster, because you don't want to, spend a lot of money roasting 350 grams at a time, and you want to do less, you could do this roaster, which is the cubing. Oh boy. I forget how to switch the screens. Nope. Hold on. Or you reorientate the screen. Forgot how to do it. Not really selling you guys on this. All right, hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love beans in there. Hold on. Pre-roast roast. I forgot I put beans in here. I must have been daydreaming. All right, all right. There we go. Don't do that at home. Come on, how do you adjust the screen? I think Bear has to tell me. I did it before. That's not how you do it. 2 fingers? God damn it. There's a way to orient. He did it easier before. Come on. Son bitch! Reorient the screen. Please? We don't need that anyways. So anyways, this is just a fancy screen. You can also just put an ESP32 on this. Using something like this. Really basic cable. I soldered this one. God, I feel like I keep saying this, but if you need one, tell me if you need a. I got to solder up one for somebody. Oh my God, who is it? Probably some. I forget who it was, but I got to solder one up for them. But let me put this back together. We're gonna hook this up to Q-Bean. Hopefully, I could do a roast before that. With this one, you just have to either go Skywalker mode or Q-Bean mode. So I'm gonna do Q-Bean. Oh, Q-Bean mode. I'll put that back over there. Then I'm gonna run high beam. There's my tablet. There it is. Supposed to be getting a new tablet too. Because this one sucks. This one's really slow. This is like a old M-Tab 8-inch crappy one from Lenovo. So let's go to SCR copy. Screen copy. There we go. Let's go to window. All right. High beam. Let me reconnect this one. M5 dial roaster. Let's preheat this. While that preheats, I'm gonna preheat it for 5 minutes. Let me get the little top part of it. Let me get a video of it from the front. So here's the Q bean roaster. Let's get the Venus camera on there. Let's get Airwave running. Got that going. Really? You have one with really bad BT range? It might be just luck of the draw when you get a certain kind of device. I say that because this one time I went to use the bathroom during a roast to progress, see how it's going while taking care of my needs. The bathroom's right next to the bathroom, or next to the garage, so it went pretty far, is what I'm trying to say. That's interesting. I don't know if that could be like just a unit issue, but if it's happening to other units, then maybe I don't know what that could be. Maybe there's some kind of EMI, or because so far I haven't had a lot of disconnections. Why are there fucking surprise beans everywhere in this house? I need to find my phone. Let's let that warm up. Okay, that's warming up. Okay, I hit 200 degrees Celsius. So I'm gonna do 150 gram batches. Let's do this Geisha Natural. Oh, my knees, dude. Whew. Old man talk here. So I'm gonna do 150 grams. Let me measure this out somewhere. Need a bigger cup. Kona ice cup. Where you at? There you go. Well, that's warming up. It's about a... $150. Okay, that should be some. For this one is weird. I have to do it like, I think I drop them off pretty low. I think, I don't know if it's with this batch, but one of the batches they kept scorching. So I was kind of, I'm kind of getting them off to like a lower temp start. I usually do everything at 200C and just see how it goes. But I think I'm gonna drop this one at like 195, 190. The thing is, I gotta put a lot of, I gotta drop this down by a lot. So I'm gonna turn this off real quick. Turn this off. So I want to set this at 70 is high on this, so I'm gonna try 60. Then I'm gonna drop it in. This is a cubine's a lot different from a Skywalker. You can't go to 80, you're gonna burn it. So let me try this. That's good. Okay, charge. Doing pretty good. And then I gotta put the heater on because I like to turn the heater off. It doesn't. It's a completely different heating element. I still think it's far infrared, but it is in a it's in a ruby glass, and that does something with filtering out certain, I don't know, infrared rays. It's supposed to be more efficient and delivers more heat absorption or something like that. This guy Renato was talking to me about it. Like he was, when he wanted to make a roaster, he wanted it to be like with this ruby coated, not it's ruby glass. It's a 600 watt. And I tell you right now, I have to turn it down to 60%, otherwise they burn. Like I'll burn the beans. They surprisingly have a better build quality than the V1 because it doesn't use that stupid boot to hold the bulb, and it doesn't use the plastic in the front. It's surprisingly decent build quality. So for the cubing, I'm inclined to let it run a little more. My God, it's going so fast. These are gonna crash pretty hard. Guys, we're reaching yellowing at like 4 minutes is way too quick. I'm gonna start drawing more air. Just this is gonna have to be through my airwave. And I don't have a trier, so I can't see if it's hitting yellowing or if it's still in like the beginning phase. I wish I had a trier for this, but that works. I know when I hit the 30s, that's when the heat doesn't really build up. So I'm gonna start increasing our fan, even on both sides. Let me do more 70 on the airwave. Not even 7-minute mark. Let me drop this down one more time. Raise this back up. About to hit first crack territory, so I'm gonna see if I could delay it even longer. Add a little more fan. Add a little more fan here. Now I'm pulling a lot of the air out. So that should be cooling the beans. I'm gonna keep it at 35. If I go lower than 30, it's gonna really extend things out. Okay, got it to slow down a bit. All right, now it's climbing even slower. At least I'm getting extended out a bit. Able to extend it a bit. Not as dramatic, kind of a little bit plateau. Here, first crack coming. There it is. So first crack's here. I'm gonna add more fan to it. I'm gonna add a little bit more fan to it. It's a bit of a plateau, so let me just drop that a bit. Hey Al, I'm roasting with the cubine. I forget. It's so crazy how hot it gets at 150 grams. $11:45, perfect timing, and then I could cool off the beans and then end the stream. Pick up my kid. There's gonna be a drop here. Bit of a drop. Hope it's not steep. It was able to plateau it a little bit. I'm gonna wait for a 2-minute mark. Then we're gonna drop the beans. A little bit more air. All right, I'm gonna drop. The cool thing about the Q bean is I've never have like a blackened bean at the bottom side unless I was roasting at 80% and went into incredibly hot mode. It always comes up pretty even as well, and that's just keeping the drum speed at the same speed. I can't change it, but this is basically a static drum speed. I'm curious to see what this tastes like. So I got the plateau I wanted, I guess. I wish it was just a little bit slower. I think I should charge it. Maybe I should charge this at 180. Man, it just rushes right through it. Well, how long was this roast? Oh, that's all right. That's not too bad. I got the first crack at 8 minutes 33 seconds. I always shoot for 9 minutes. I just like 9 minutes for some reason. I don't really try those Nordic roasts or whatever, those Nordic style. But hopefully this tastes good. Let's see what it tastes like. It's still cooling off. Woo! These are they taste like flowers. Not sure if I'm a fan of that. Where's my bag? Let me see what the notes say. Oh, floral. God damn it. Okay. Yeah, nah, I should have figured that. At least I could taste floral notes. I called it flowery, even though I didn't know it was going to taste flowery. I guess some people like that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep trying. I'll keep posting on my high beam like roasts. So I want to try this one. I plateaued it. This one's plateaued a little more, which I was trying to shoot for. The next one I want to do is more descending, but I still want to lengthen out the time a little bit. So I still got to figure that part out. I don't know if Al knows. What do you usually start off, Al? Do you start off at like 200 grams, 150 grams at 60%? Are you aiming for faster roast? I kind of been aiming for mine to at least at the 10-minute mark. 12 at the most. These ones, I feel like I have to be a little bit more gentle. So I don't think I'll have my charge temp next time at 200 or 195, I think. I think I'll have my charge TP at about maybe 185. Because I used to start at 80 and I'd be done with the roast in about 3 minutes. And I was like, there's no way this tastes good. They taste very like greeny like. I think the fastest was like 5 minutes. I was like, this is way too quick. Seven to 9, okay. Yeah, heater to 60 is what I've been doing. I'm so used to the V1 where I could do a heater at 80, but it's still like 400 grams. I don't do too much soaking, just because like I talking about Rob Hoos about soaking, and that was more like a lot of people were doing soaking just to get like an even roast for some reason. I forget why. I think the roasters at the time weren't able to do something. But I don't. I should probably try soaking one day. I would like to test the fan even faster. Man, I've gone to 5 minutes with this one because I did it at 90 at 150 grams, and I was like, oh, this tastes terrible. Really, 6 minute roast? Maybe I'm not letting. Maybe with those ones, I'm not letting them rest. They usually last a week because they're only like 150 grams. Anyways, uh, I'm gonna do another roast later. Probably something else. Just not consistent. Yeah, I haven't been too consistent. Well, I haven't really tried the same bean over and over. I'm gonna try this again. I'm not sure how light this can go. Definitely not as light as the air roaster. I'm gonna roast the same bean up in my Cafe Logic and then see how that turns out. I'm gonna shoot for a really light profile and see if that works. Let me turn my off. All right, but I'm gonna head out and I'll see you guys later. Take care. Thanks for joining.